So today is June 22nd, 2016, and the museum has a very special visitor. We have Betty. Do you want to tell us your last name?
Weniger.
Weniger. And her father was Ian Nicholson, who was one of the owners of the William Morgan Miller House, which the museum also calls the Shantz house. But Betty lived in that house when she was a young girl, and then moved away from Pemberton, but has come back today at the young age of 90-something.
My birthday was yesterday, yeah.
Her 90th birthday, and wanted to visit Pemberton again. So I guess I just want to start by asking you of any memories you have about Pemberton or anything that you're...
I have no memories because I was very young. I was just a baby here.
Just
so
a baby.
I don't have any memories at all, except what my father has told me. And I did very few things. He never said much about it, just once in a while. He's written some articles, which I have, about Ronan and another character that used to be here, buried in
Ronan, the Ronan family.
Ronan, and his sister, I believe, knew a girl who lived here, and I think she visited her up here, and I think that's what got him interested. Okay. He was here for about 9 years, something like that. He never said much about it. He'd just once in a while say what happened. In the house that's here now, it was over a creek, right next to a creek, and once there was a terrible flood, whatever, you probably know the name of the creek, and bills started coming down by the creek as I rushed out and got bills and hung them up on the clothesline to dry. I thought that was amazing. That was wonderful, you know. The poor people, I don't know if they gave them back the money, but I thought that was hilarious that you'd go outside and find money coming down the hill.
So what year then would he have moved up here, Betty?
I'm not sure. He never said. He was quite young when he moved up, probably in his teens, his late teens.
Okay.
Like so many young people moved up here in those days when they were quite young. So,
and would he have started working as a
I guess as a farmer, because he had no, I don't know what else. He didn't talk about it. I had to guess a lot of what he did, you know.
And after Pemberton, you moved to Vancouver.
Yes, I did, and he went to Trail because he could get a job at the smelter at Trail. I don't know if you know it. Okay. He got a job there, and then I lived in Vancouver till I was 7, and then I went and lived in Trail till I was 18 years old. Yeah.
Well, so you've spent time on either end of the province.
Yeah, it's differently. It's certainly different there than here. This is not like at all. It's completely different. Eastern BC there in the south. Oh, there's mountains, of course, and trees and lakes, but I think the weather's much nicer here. We don't have the long winters that you do.
Yes.
You know, it's a difference. So it's very interesting, but it's so nice to come back and see all this. It's lovely, and I can see why people came here to live. Mm-hmm. Why you like it. You're going to stay here, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Good for you. Yeah.
What are your impressions of Pemberton today?
All good. You don't even have, Dad said something about mosquitoes, but I don't see any mosquitoes. Is this a good year? No mosquitoes?
Yeah, it's been dry.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
But what could be bad about living in a lovely place like this? Of course, you'd say, well, you need a job. That's about the only thing. You have a job to live, yeah.
Yeah. And it was tough to find employment in Pemberton
Apparently
when your father came.
Yes, that's true.
That would have been
just
challenging.
Take anything
you would
that
do
comes,
anything that came, yeah.
Yeah.
Farmers would trap for cash, because often they didn't make a lot of cash farming.
But,
so in the winters they would log or they would trap.
I can't remember him going trapping. He loved to hike in the mountains. Once he went on and by himself, he always seemed to be hiking, but except I think my mother and he went on with horses once up the mountain.
With Bert Perkins? You'd showed us some of your photos.
Well,
or no, it was Jack Ronan who guided you up.
He said he hiked by himself up some mountain, and he found an old cabin, stayed overnight, and when he got up in the morning and opened the door, he looked out, and there were cougar paw marks right outside, all around a tree, that it looked like, and you know, he wondered if the cougar had followed him, which I understand they do, and probably maybe got up the tree and waited for him to come out, and maybe got tired, and luckily he had left by the time. But can you imagine a cougar following you when you're hiking, and he didn't have a gun or anything, you know? And there's still cougars around here, I understand. Is that
Yes,
right?
there are.
There are. But do they bother people much?
Yes, they even come into town. So there's a
Really?
development up here on this hill,
Yeah.
and the hill is part of the mountain.
Yes.
So the mountain lions come down through the neighborhood.
But are the kids
sometimes.
quite safe to play outside? Or,
Well, when that happens, usually a conservation officer
they
gets
get
called,
them, yeah.
and there is a fellow locally that has cougar hounds, hound
Really?
dogs,
Oh.
that will chase a cougar up a tree,
Oh, that's nice.
and then they can tranquilize the cougar
Yeah,
and
really.
relocate it. Well, not kill the cougar, but move him, you know,
Yeah.
to another
Oh,
mountain.
interesting, eh? Yeah. Oh, I think it's a beautiful place. I can understand why.
You know
Yeah.
why there's still so many cougars here? Because there's a lot of deer here. So if you have a lot of deer,
Yeah.
often you have cougars.
Makes sense, yeah. All makes sense, yeah.
Mhm.
Very interesting, yeah. And a lot of bears, but of course they're all over the place anyway, aren't they?
A lot of
They-
bears,
they're-
and Pemberton has grizzly bears. Did you know that?
Christians, I thought they were further north.
At the end of the valley, as you start to get up into the watershed of the Little White River, you're getting into grizzly bear country.
They must have come south because everybody used to say they're all in the north.
And Whistler published an article, grizzlies were seen in the Callahan in Whistler this spring.
Good gods.
Yeah.
They're much bigger than the black bear, aren't they? They're
Yes.
really big, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that, you don't want to run into a grizzly.
no, I'll try not to, yeah. I'll go the other way, yeah.
When you guys go for your trip up the valley, don't get out of the car.
Okay, remember that, Anne. You can get out, I'll wait for you to come back.
I'm just pulling
I'm
your leg.
going.
I'll leave my cell phone with you, Mom. You call for help if I get in trouble.
Now, you've mentioned your dad talked about potato farming. What
Yeah,
did
he
say
said
about-
I think he was probably, if they needed help in the farm, that they'd get anybody, you know, anybody come. They had to have help, so I bet he did. I wish I'd gotten more on, but it's hard to get him to talk about it, he didn't want to
But
talk about it.
what you told me, he told you something about the potatoes here.
Yeah, he said our potatoes that were famous. He said they're famous all over then, and that's what he said. They were just wonderful. No problem. That's what so many people did. Good potatoes.
Yeah.
And I used to think, well, are they going to keep it up? And I understand that they do make good money from them now. But
Yes, they get sold largely to the States, to California,
Yeah.
Washington, Idaho. The great Idaho potato
yeah,
is a Pemberton seed potato.
no. You said it. She said it in front of an audience. And, yeah. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's my understanding, yeah.
Oh.
And I've seen the trucks in the fall rumbling through, and the little potatoes are
That's
falling out of
proof
the
right
truck.
there. She got proof right there. She just said it. I'm just kidding. No, but that's right. No, I can't. I've always known that they've been famous, but I don't remember ever seeing them. Somebody in a store saying, "Oh, these are Pemberton potatoes." Nobody's told me that. So, Dad said they were sent them somewhere else. They'd make more money from them if they sold it. That's what he said. I don't know.
Well, that is how it works, yeah.
Money. Well, so it's always money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Money works. So.
Well, if you're a farmer, you would pay more for grade A seed.
Yeah.
Because that means your plants won't fail, and you'll get a higher yield of your crop.
Yeah, who wouldn't? Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see why they wouldn't. Yeah, it only makes sense. So I'm going to get out and get me some Pemberton potatoes before we leave, so I can take them back and show everybody these potatoes that I got.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you, except I'm so glad that we decided to come. We didn't know where to come, and we thought we'd go because we've been here before. You know, I was here with my husband and the children. How many? Quite a few years ago, and I thought it would be exactly the same, but it certainly hasn't.
Wow.
Changed a lot. Yeah, it's a lovely place. I can understand why you want to live here. It's a
Yeah.
lovely spot.
I know.
Yeah, I can tell.